All right, so this is Corey here with Concert Crep, and I am speaking with Josh from the band Hope for a Dying. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing okay.
All right, man, let's get into it. The first question, your new album Legacy was released just a couple of weeks ago. What has been the reception since that has been released?
So far so good. I mean, we've got a lot of good feedback from our fans, and I know sales have been good, and we're really happy with the feedback we've gotten so far, and really thrilled with how the album turned out.
Where did you write all the lyrics for the album?
Yes, I did. There is one song, "Wretched Curse," where Jack, our guitarist, wrote some of the lyrics in that, namely the chorus.
Where did you get all your inspiration for creating all those lyrics for the album?
It's hard to say as far as like the specific stories or ideas in each song, because they are all so vastly different from song to song.
Uh,
Overall, the album concept, the legacy concept we had before I really started writing the lyrics. So the idea was to kind of stick to that theme, at least in and out of that theme throughout the album, and the kind of theme of the album lyrically is to you know do something good with the time you have on Earth. Make a positive impact in someone's life. That sort of thing. That's the whole leave a legacy idea behind the album, and a lot of the songs lyrically kind of follow that.
how did you change like your sound and not just your sound from the previous albums, but like the overall tone and what you were writing about?
Like as far lyrically or just musically or
Both, either or.
well, musically, we never try to box ourselves into a specific sound. We do feel like we've kind of developed that Hope for the Dying sound that is
Uh-huh.
uniquely ours. But we still try to write with as much creative freedom as possible. This album, in order to, because we're always trying to grow as musicians, in order to add a little bit of a different sound and kind of challenge us a little more musically, we decided to actually tune our guitars up to standard tuning,
Mhm.
which is something we've never done since we've been a band in 2006. Since 2006, so we decided to tune the guitars up just to kind of give a different overall sound
Uh-huh.
to the songs in general, because it pushed everything into a different keys that we're not usually writing in. So that kind of gave us a kind of a refresher as far as the overall sound of the album. Um, lyrically, I feel like my writing was just a little more real on this album than it has been in the past. Not to say that I never meant what I've said before, because that's not the case.
Uh-huh.
But I felt like lyrically it kind of flowed more naturally this time. Where in the past I've always worked really hard to try to make every little sentence of every song mean something to me,
Mhm.
and that's always been a labor of love in the past, of course. But on this album, I feel like it came a lot more naturally.
Yeah,
So really, all the pieces just kind of came together, and it became Legacy, and that's the album we released.
yeah.
So
It sounds like you're pretty proud of this.
we are. I feel like it's our best release to date. It was definitely a challenge. Everybody worked really hard on it. It was with all of our schedules and everything. The album was 2 years in the making, so
Mhm.
it's a long time to work on something, to wait and see what the finished product's going to be like. And now it's done, and we're really happy with it.
Yeah, you just said it took about 2 years, and I noticed that it said that on on your guys' Facebook, it took about 2 years to write and record the new album. Which one usually takes longer for you, like the writing process or the recording?
Definitely the writing, because you have to have the songs ready, before you can really hit the studio. Everything has to be in order, and we generally do pre-production on every song. Once we feel like the writing part of it's done, we'll actually make a rough recording ourselves
Uh-huh.
of it, just so we can piece the vocals and everything together, just so everyone can hear how the song sounds overall before we decide this is it, this is how it's going to the studio.
When
So really, that means we're making a recording of all the songs before we even
when you're
go into the studio for real.
sorry to interrupt. When you're like when you're writing the songs, do you do you know when you're gonna like write like a very long song or a very short song? Like, is that in the writing process, or are you just like, do you just surround it after the fact that you write all the lyrics?
No,
Surround the
and
music.
I actually write the lyrics usually after the music is done.
Oh wow.
I
Okay.
mean, I have lyrical ideas going into when we're going into a new album. I start developing some ideas, but I never write a full set of lyrics for any song until I've actually heard music.
Hmm.
Because the tone of the music, I mean, the music can set its own mood, in my opinion. So I want to know what that is before I write lyrics for it. So typically, we'll get a song from. Usually, Jack is the one who writes most of the four parts of the song, like all the guitar parts
Hmm.
and pieces it all together. On this album, our drummer Brendan actually wrote two of the songs.
Hmm.
Um, and so we usually get that, and then we get a rough version of at least guitars or something, so everyone can hear where the song is headed.
Hmm.
And then once we agree on things, everyone will go and start putting their parts into place. In my case, would be the lyrics. James or other guitarists will go and maybe start developing the orchestra and the synthesizer parts and that sort of thing. And then Brendan, of course, would write the drums
Hmm.
at that point too. So really, to answer your question on the length of the songs, that you know I don't really think Jack tries to confine himself. He
Hmm.
gets ideas and he starts writing. And if it's a long song, it's a long song. If it's a short song, it's a short song. It's
Hmm.
kind of one of those things. We try to let our songs resolve naturally. And if we feel like they're dredging on way too long, then we try to come up with a better way to end it. And if we feel like it's a little too short, or we need to bring another part back or something, then we do that as well.
Yeah, I've heard the album Legacy. If you guys haven't heard it at home, you should because it is a great album. When what is your like best memory when creating not just this album but any album? Like, what's your like most like wow, this is amazing. Like, I'm having a really good time making this. Like, just creating music. What's your I don't know. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to say like 10 different things at once. Like what I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but
Well, I mean, some standout moments for me in time, as a band when we were writing or recording. I would say one of those really important moments would be when we were writing Simulation, which was not our last album, but the album before that, our
uh-huh.
first like full length studio. Probably the moment where we decided that we wanted to incorporate the orchestra. We usually have an 18 to 20 piece orchestra on almost every song now.
Uh-huh.
And the moment where we all were like, hey, we're going to do this. And then the next moment when we actually heard James's first, version of the orchestra that was going to accompany our songs was a turning point for our band.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really defined our sound, and that's what our fans have come to know. We're going to be a progressive metal band that also has these symphonic elements.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really one great memory because that was a really big turning point for us stylistically. But other than that, I had a lot of great experiences on our last album doing Alethea. We had a lot of fun in the studio. We recorded everything on that one out in Kansas City. So it was really, for me, vocally, I felt like we developed the vocals more than I ever had before. So I have a lot of fond memories of that. And then, this album was put together a lot differently. We did go back with Josh Barber in Kansas City and do drums and some vocals, but we didn't really do the traditional studio experience. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of we did the drums, come in a studio with Josh, our producer again, and then we did the majority of the vocals, all of the guitars, and the bass was all done actually in our guitarist Jack studio
Uh-huh.
in Faith. So that actually kind of allowed us more time to develop things, and if we weren't really feeling it, we weren't really restricted to, we've only got, 10 days in the studio or 15 days, we got to make it work. We could sit on it a couple of weeks and go back and rework ideas. So this album had a lot of good times as well. It was just kind of in a different aspect because we didn't have that pressure of dedicated studio time to
Mm-hmm.
fulfill. So overall, just to sum it up, I've had a lot of great experiences and I have a lot of good memories. Writing music and recording music with Jack and James and Brendan and collectively Hope for the Nine. It's really all been good for me.
Yeah, man, it sounds like you're very, very happy about the way everything's turned out so far. All right, let's get into
Yes.
let's get into shows for you guys. You guys, I noticed you guys are playing Face Down Fest very soon. How excited are you to be playing that?
I'm really excited. If you looked at our schedule, we really don't play shows. We don't really tour
Uh-huh.
anymore. We have the occasional festival or one-off show, and that's about it. We this year's Space Town Fest, we decided to just drop. We're not playing any old music. We're actually playing the first 4 tracks from Legacy.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's cool for us because since we don't play out live as a band very much, that gave us something new to rehearse. And it also, will be a first live show for us, which we haven't had in a while. We've, the last several years we've been playing stuff from The Simulation, stuff from Alethea, and now it's time to just kind of let those songs rest for a bit and play all of our new songs.
Are you guys planning on playing any other shows in the near future at all? Just anything that you haven't announced yet?
We've got a couple festivals possibly in the works, but nothing confirmed yet. So as of right now, we're just debuting, the new songs at Face Down Fest, and we'll see what comes up from there.
Why is that? I'm just curious.
Well, we're all busy with life, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Touring for Hope for the Dying, because of our genre and the niche that we're in, touring has never really been too fruitful for us. While we've always had fun touring, I would, for the most part, consider our tour successful. To be in a full-time touring band, at the end of the day, regardless of your intentions, there has to be, income of some sort.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's pretty difficult to juggle full-time jobs and try to make those tours work. So, several of us are working. Well, 2 of us are working full-time jobs now. I own my own business as an IT consultant. Jack is also playing in a band called War of Ages, which I think you just did an interview with recently
Yes,
as well.
I did.
And he's pretty well full-time with that. And then our drummer, Brendan, kind of has several of his own musical side projects, and he also has a full-time job as well, and as well as touring part-time with War of Ages and helping them out when they need it, too. So everybody just kind of has a really full schedule just to make life work in general. So touring has kind of taken a back burner in exchange for us still at least having time to write songs. You know what I mean? So for us, that's worked out okay because when it comes time to write an album, that's our band time right there, writing, recording, and that sort of thing, and we don't have to spin our wheels out on the road quite as much.
If you could tour full time and make a decent amount of money and an honest living doing that, would you do that and drop your other business?
Well, it's one of those things where with me, I'm well established now. So that being said, if touring, and supporting my family and paying for my wife and kid to have, like you said, an honest living and a decent life, if that came up and I could do that through something I love like music, I would certainly find a way to make it work.
Let's hope if your business doesn't fall through. I mean, like you said, it is. Like, hopefully there is touring sometime in your future because I'm sure the country would love to see you guys.
Yeah, we would, and it would be great to revisit because it's been several years now since we've really been quote unquote out on the road, and it would be nice to get out and play even if it's just a small circuit or something like that, just to get out there and see what fans are out there and that are hoping to hear a live show, and we'd love to go out there and try it again. I'm sure someday.
What for people who haven't really heard you guys, what vocalist would you compare yourself to?
Vocally for me, I got a lot of my early influences from All That Remains. Namely because I did a lot of my early vocal training, my warm ups and that sort of thing. I used to watch this Melissa Cross series called The Zen of Screaming. And that's what really helped me develop a lot of my vocal training. And the dude from All That Remains was frequently featured in there. It just so happened I was kind of a big fan of their band at the time, too. So I would say early on, I aspired to be similar to him, to be able to sing and be able to scream and to have a little bit of range to my screaming vocals as well. So I would say influentially, he was one of my big influences. But as far as how I actually sound, for people who haven't heard me before, online, I've seen people say that the screaming sounds similar to maybe All My Friends Red or something like that, but that's not really our style. We're not really a metalcore kind of style. We're really more of a progressive metal.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we actually get compared to like progressive symphonic death metal or that kind of genre. But we're kind of a blend. We're not really significantly death metalish. We're kind of right around the verge of death metal and progressive metal there.
If you could replace
with symphonic elements, I got to throw that in there
symphonic
too.
elements, of course. It's the Hope for a Dying sound, the sound that you want, right?
Exactly, that's right.
If you could replace yourself with one vocalist in another band for a day, regardless of how great they are or how high level they are, who would you choose and why?
Like if I could put myself in another band or put another band's vocalist in our band?
Put yourself in another band.
That's a tough one.
If it could just be for one day, just any vocalist out there.
I'm just trying to think. I would say, I don't know. I would say maybe Killswitch Engage, just because they've got kind of that cool like rock and metal sound, and I used to listen to them a ton. I still bring up their albums every once in a while and jam them, and I've just always wanted to be able to sing like Howard and have that sound. So I mean, if I could be planted in that band and also get that dude's voice at the same time, that's what I would do, I think. So.
Oh, the Howard Killswitch Engage era?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think he has his other band now. God, I can't think of their name right now. Drawing a blank on their name, but I know I have one of their albums.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
What does the rest of 2016 hold for Hope for a Dying?
Well, we're definitely going to be trying to push legacy the best we can. Without touring, we have to really depend on like our online outlets, like our Facebook, our website, Twitter, and Instagram to a certain extent. We're going to try to keep consistently putting out some videos until we've got all the songs covered. But then also, I believe we'll try to do maybe some playthrough videos on the drums and guitar. I think we've got those in the works. So, and just trying to stay better in touch with our fans in general, and getting some feedback on the album, and whatever we can to keep everyone engaged in the new releases here. So.
All right. Is there anything else you want to say about your album, about anything at all, about your fans, anything?
Well, just to anybody listening that's heard of us and supported us over the years, I just want to say thanks. We appreciate your support, and to anyone who hasn't heard us yet, I hope you'll take a moment to check us out. Listen to our new album Legacy. Listen to Alethea. Listen to The Simulation, and after that, come say hello on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or something.
All right. This is Corey with Concert Crap, and make sure you guys pick up Legacy. It is out on Face Down Records, and support Hope for a Dying, hopeforadying.com. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Any other ones that I missed on that, Josh?
No, that should cover it.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. Don't hang up just quite yet. This has been Corey with Concert Crap, and we'll see you guys next time.